So welcome everybody to the Segal Theatre Center here at the Theatre Center CUNY. My name is Frank Hentschker. I'm the Executive Director of the program, and the Segal Center bridges academia and professional theatre, international and American theatre. Next to our many programs, which you find in the blue brochure, we have collaborated over many, many years with Penwell Voices, and for this year created a play festival where we have 9 plays from 9 different regions as designated by the United Nations. This is actually Western Europe, representing this play from Austria. We also have here 2 representatives from the Austrian Cultural Forums. Thank you so much for coming. I know you have other pen events where you have to go to. But still I would like to welcome you all, also the translator, Gitta Honegger, who is here, Elfriede Jelinek. It does not really travel, as we all know, but she is here with the play. We have Professor Jonathan Kalk and many others here. So, and Tia Lejic, who did the great Jackie play at the Women's Project. I don't know, oh, here she is. And so again, thank you all for coming. The Penwell Voices Festival was created by Paul Auster and Salman Rushdie as a reaction during the Bush years. They felt no voices from the outside were being heard. Numbers were down and still are. Only 2 to 3% of all books published are international writers. Out of the 2 or 3%, 50 to 60% are French or German plays, because they get support from their governments, because they feel strongly it is a significant part of the culture and it should go everywhere, not just in their own countries. And this is the 10th year or the 11th year, but at this moment over 80 writers from all over the world are here in New York and participating in many, many events. It's in the brochure outside, and we are truly honored to be with this exceptional festival, which is the largest and most significant literary festival in the United States. I would now like to introduce you to our director, Katherine Brook, who will say a few words about it. And I would like to thank Christine Scafudo, who is the producer for the festival, who's over there. So thank you for all your work, and of course our great team. But here you go. Thank you.
So I just want to briefly give you a tiny bit of context. This play is about an event that is perhaps known in Austria and not as much known here. There was a massacre that happened right at the end of the Second World War, March 1945. It was a party at a castle that a countess was throwing. It was sort of an orgiastic hunting party, at the end of which they massacred 180 Jews. And I am just saying this story right now before you see the reading, because it is the context and the inspiration for everything you're about to hear. This is a fantastic, epic work of probably 4 to 5 hours if you were to really produce it. We've cut it down to a little bit under 2 hours for you today. So thanks very much and enjoy.
In Austria, hunting trophies on the walls. Messengers, male and female, are arriving from everywhere, partly in shabby evening clothes, partly dressed as bicycle messengers. They are running in ever shorter intervals until at some point the room is crowded. No one leaves the room. All are dressed in contemporary outfits. Please, no suggestions of the past, except for small quotes such as hairstyles, etc. A Man in Underpants by Calvin Klein or Hugo Boss is checked by 2 messengers, while his chauffeur watches. Every now and then someone enters in a somewhat sloppy but very elegant evening gown, carrying a gun. This person pushes his or her way between the messengers, shoving them to the side to get to a window, from where he or she shoots out every now and then. Every now and then, especially when the subject of the conversation is about Germany or Germans, one of the messengers performs a make-believe suicide attempt, which is instantly recognized as fake. Maybe he or she pulls a plastic bag over his or her head and tries to tighten it around the neck. Something like that is an ironic suicide attempt. Only the messengers are talking. It could, however, also be just one person. That's up to the director. Everyone tries to either hold back the armed person or push him to the window so that the shot goes outside. Of course, it can also be done completely different, as always with my plays.
You want to tell us you saw a man who was extracted from his mother's womb by a flash of lightning like a bone from a chicken? Don't even try. I wouldn't believe it. Did you see the smoking ruins of a burning castle, despite the ban on smoking that rests so heavily on our souls? No? So this, then, is still to come. Set on fire, like everything that has ever been set on fire since Hephaestus or Prometheus or the Russians, for that matter. The Russians were the last ones who brought us some fire, who put a bomb under us. Well, I am telling you, if they haven't been here yet, they will come. And they will come soon. A messenger, just like yourself, is telling you. And you know how much to believe us. The Russians have the conqueror's pride now, but they always ruin everything they conquer and steal the rest and ruin that too. The Russians are the gods of fire. But where is this persistent
distant reputation come from? Their jubilations in the distance sound like shouting to us. Where does it come from? When will they be here? When? What if I say, I will not wait?
This one has a photo.
Who will put out all the stops on Stalin's organ, that multi-barreled rocket launcher? Which raging swarm, wrapped in skins made of uniforms, and watches of strangers, and the lives of strangers, and their own blood, and their own torn flesh, and the skins of torn horses in their own torn shoes, running across their own torn earth over the bodies of raped foreign women? Well, yes, back home and let the Germans rape their own women. One hand washes the other.
The gas will come later, after it was
They
sucked
must
into a
share
pipeline called Nabucco or something,
Nowadays,
which is
responsibility
nothing.
means charge.
And later still,
Gotta
even
be
those
charged
people
under
line
your
up
back.
against each other.
Get in charge.
Because there
When
will
you
be
get
one
charged.
Pied Piper as there
It
can only
doesn't
be
come
one
free of
conductor.
charge.
As for the semiconductor, Iran let this be my
You
one
have
and
peace of
only, but
mind.
all the more an
And
emphatic
insurance
warning.
case with no fault then.
But now the war is over,
Responsibility, however,
practically over.
constantly defaults.
It gave us kiss asses a real good
Charges
licking.
us when
The winners
you
are
don't
always the
believe
same,
in
so are the
accept, you
losers.
sign messenger
So then I don't
letters,
understand why the wars are
and then it
finished
lets
at
go
all.
of us again.
Reason
We
comes to play
are,
on
always
words.
will be in
Capital,
default.
a free gift with weapons for the less well off. Its owners are in another country, that's why the other country remained neutral all this time. As long as they let it stay that way, it stayed laid back and it paid off. Everything still on wheels is on its way there.
But first,
They can stay.
let's get a good fire going to turn up the heat for the Russians' arrival.
Not only the first
The poor locals will keep quiet about it, they always do.
The masses are ready to go. They're chasing each other, they don't know where to.
So,
Here comes the master's automobile.
now they notice our tongues.
Shaking fake bucket.
So they tear those rags out as well. We are not here to listen to some biblical bull. We are here to get out of here. Therefore, this story can't be true, says the historian who did a colonoscopy on history. At least, that's what he planned to do. He looked into history from the other end, as it were,
I, as a
but it
messenger,
stayed dark in
am
Munich,
constantly overtaken and
Munster,
must inhale the
in
exhaust
Germany, no.
fumes.
In Austria,
Let's get a good
in
fire.
Burgenland, way down east. That's the way.
Keep quiet.
Makes no difference anyway. He would have seen only darkness from any direction. He wouldn't see a thing, even if it were shown to him in a picture, because he used to finding out everything from pictures. Would he finally see nothingness there, having seen the end already?
Therefore, this story can't
No.
be true, says the historian. You
His
can
story.
philosophy on history.
History
At least that's what the plan is.
hasn't even happened yet.
History from the other
At least it hasn't come to an end if it ever started.
But it's dark in Munich.
Come back tomorrow, then you might hear.
No.
This is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends. Not with a bang, but with a whimper.
Darkness from any direction.
And if you miss the beginning, it's
I
okay.
never see a thing.
The beginning is a poem,
Even if it was shown to me in a picture.
but that's okay. Just for you,
Finding out
his
everything.
story starts
You
anytime.
finally see nothing.
History starts anew every moment,
No.
but this time it rages in other people, and due to a shortage of people, it could make a short thrift, also in other cities.
Tomorrow. Then you might hear.
If every
This is
proper
the way the
history,
world ends. This is the
the
way
wealthy,
world ends.
the
This is
stuffed
the way
man,
the world ends.
the
Not
stuffed up man has his
And
representative,
here's the beginning, that's
who
the
handles
beginning.
all his stuff and takes care of his shit. I mean,
Just for you.
he has to take all the shit in place of his master.
Every moment.
History only tunes its instruments, but it rarely gets to play.
Due to a shortage of people, it could make a short.
We bring history in tune with us. Our testimonies must hit the right tone, and we should all sing the same tune. No. We never get it right, and no one listens to us anyway. So the story should be looked at in peace and quiet once it's over.
It's very long.
But while it's happening, it should also be left in peace.
As if life would never end.
Better not to look at it.
We are in tune.
Its Gorgon's gaze might turn us to stone.
Our testimonies must.
Or better yet, history should be dragged into a heated room to let it thaw, cheered on by all. We should all thaw, finally. It won't hurt. It's warm and comfy in here.
Better not look at it.
And it's nice to see people finally show up and warm up to us again. We miss them.
History should
But
be
as soon as they
dragged
got
into
here, they messed up our lives again.
Cheered on by all.
Here, history, for once, has the chance never to happen again. The chance, that is, history will or maybe not have the chance to be listened to in peace and quiet. It is giving a lecture.
But as soon as they thought
Who else would better know?
mess up our lives again.
Between the conception and the creation, between the emotion and the response, falls the shadow.
So many drop stitches.
It isn't necessary to see it talking, because whatever can be seen is real and therefore could be lost.
They had already been stripped before.
Soon the fire will shine bright and red. It will shine on our bed, and then the bed will also be gone, and so will we. The red hot revelers want to get just one last high. They kick up their legs for the big leap, and then run, baby, run! 15 persons leave the castle after the weapons have been distributed and arrangements for the dead. No, the dead can only be properly arranged afterwards. It must not be that courage, the best slayer, an instant slayer of outrage, would suddenly show itself with such raw and even jubilant brutality. After all, they already had plenty opportunities to do so at least 1,000 years ago.
Who would have thought that they dragged in those dregs at the very last moment, not a stitch of clothing on their bodies? And they didn't even have to clean up the mess. Who would have thought they'd drag in those dregs at the very last moment? Not a stitch of clothing on their bodies. So many dropped stitches, they were all in the ditches, and they didn't even have to clean up the mess. Deacons, no, take it all. Not in the ditches. They'd also been stripped before. Stripped of their Hungarian citizenship, and then they stripped themselves. They were specifically told to please take off your clothes. Bitte take it all off. Was the softly forceful order. That was all that was needed. It was all they needed, the guns. They could not fight them anyway, and their bodies wanted to take off for a long time. They refused to stay at home. Couldn't take it anymore. Just dropped to the ground. There was no need for an extra push. They would have saved themselves all the trouble with bodies. Shooting down those last helpless creatures just for the heck of it, instead of saving their own skin first, which is worth much more in death's twilight kingdom. And time is also very valuable. So it's high time to cash in on time before there is a crash. Get rid of foul deeds. Quick, get out of the bull market, bold. No. We still must set a couple of things before we set this castle on fire and send the sun on vacation. We don't need it just now. We've been doing for a long time with sun, the right guys, more shine than substance. So much so that one cannot see the substance for the shine. So, while others laid in the deep sleep of exhaustion, their bones all picked and resting in peace, we have to settle a few more things. The party is over. The fire bursts from the hollow barrel. The gods are cheering that the right guys won for once. But one can't hear them. One only hears the people how they cheer no more in heaven for a long, long time. They collapse silently, like houses of cards. They don't have much weight anymore and never had. Who needs them? They are bound for each power. But before they get there, they have to be bound for good advice. Wine. Lust for power? Yes, we got plenty. People in there in Scotland. But we'll call it addiction when those high on top want to get down for power. There really is nothing sick about that. They better get it all done now, the powerful. Tomorrow it's probably all gone, their power. They'll have to get used to being lonely up there without friends to invite, and wine to flow, and red-hot barrels shooting into thin air, until the mountain comes to the valley and the storms and the islands down to the beckoning glens, where they read their Sturma for news on the bars to prepare. In this upcoming, unbecoming situation, one can only count on oneself. You better know how to count without count. We also suffered. We got our share. We lost everything. We are the shareholders of the raging Reich, the emptied empire. We lost everything. In the end, the Reich itself. We had to write off division, the Reich, but didn't know whose accounts. And something like that happened. It was the first time it happened, and it certainly won't happen again. It's their own fault. We forswear. We lost everything, except for what we still have, fortunately. Only smart people deserve anyway. What can you think of anything better than holding on to what has us when we're lost? Losing more than everything is not scared away. So all one can do is hold on to them. One has a choice. It's their own fault. Those dumb dead. Why didn't they have a voice to get orders for the strength to obey?
A call from legal.
Well, we would have killed them anyway. No matter how much life was left in them, all of it had to go. The last blush blown from every cheek, sleep must be scared away. Even before it comes, and if it comes, then the right way, forever. Especially not so different from falling asleep every day. We don't mind sleeping every day, so why not die when sleeping is so pleasant? Well, thanks a lot.
Since you're
They were so weak, we could have blown them out like a candle. Why even bother with how they'll die?
No longer
No problem. They were also the hunters and their cocks do it for their mistress. But even more so for their own kicks. They'll do anything for any master, especially if it's themselves. Those lords and masters must be careful. You just have to tell them who's the master of the moment and they'll be happy to. Our masters game was they'll cock and gun before the cocks grow. And then they'll deny everything. They'll even deny they were also masters. Masters at their game and everyone else's game. They'll deny having ever been or had or known personally or seen from afar a master. You are welcome. Don't mention it. Near
For now, I hope
down to the ground with those shivering limbs. Hurry up! The Russian is coming. The great, but not the only son of Stalin, who has millions of them. And they will level the castle down to the ground.
Yes.
And then they will burn it. Or they'll do it all at once.
Let's see whether someone else will have to take charge of our return trip. Oh no, we got used to the one in charge now. For an additional charge, they offer breast implants, historical implants, dental implants, and human plants, which deliver spare parts. Well, they have to come from somewhere, don't they? We guarantee that those plantations are continuously reforested and replenished. Yes, just like your upper jaw, which was carved out of your hip bone. If it wasn't grown artificially from a few cells. They'll rebuild you completely. Oh, or did you make another kill? Did you do it with your own teeth? Or was it you who shot the man who saw everything and would have talked too? And the dog, did you shoot him too? Well, now that really wasn't necessary. A dog can't talk, right? No. Well, that's right. So that witness is taken care of. Is there another one? Another candidate for your game? Yes. That one there in the car. The only one who survived. Now you can shoot him at your leisure. Now you have all the time in the world. Back then you didn't take the time. It was a mad hunt, a great rush. But one guy got away, and now we pop him in the car so he won't talk anymore. We pop them all. Some sooner, some later. And now we've got them all. Now there are only tooth and face shopping and saving tourists. Lots of them. No wonder, since our teeth got stuck in the flesh of foreigners and we need replacements. No wonder this one didn't last. The dental cement was already loose. I can't think of another explanation. But it's your own fault, too. Why did you have to bite with so much force? Didn't we explain to you that you have to go easy for a while until the bone is bone dry and no longer to distinguish from the rest of your body? Even though we use only the best ceramic and the best gold in Austria from the Augusta company, whose name used to be De Gusa, which delivered gas for humans. Or am I mixing things up here? What's your problem? It's the most efficient way of heating. Gas, of course. Why do you think we built all those pipelines? Partly through the former enemy territory, partly through future enemy territory, all in an effort to clear the air for good. It's all good. Those ovens simply can't be improved upon. And they can't hold anymore either. Simple as that. Throw it in as a tablet on the top, the gas, and it comes out pure below. It couldn't be easier. No. Don't worry if you don't find your way around here anymore. You'll learn quickly. Ashes are ashes, ruins are ruins, dirt is dirt. There are others who know the ways here, and an aristocratic predicate comes with your predicated wine for no extra charge. But that's only a tiny predicate for this magnate, whose art collection is a magnet for the well-fed masses. Because
Now,
art
they do allow you to
doesn't
become a
like to be
citizen
collected.
through marriage, death,
It
or
wants to be
transfiguration, but
diverted. Like
otherwise
that.
they don't
Wants
guarantee
to get
anything.
out and divert
You can yell and
others as
scream
well.
all you want,
And
but you
a
won't
lot of
get
trouble
it. Even
to
though
get
Hungary
for the
has become a
masses
rapidly
whose
expanding
eyes
fat
are
land,
out here.
land of the fat
Art
and the free,
is for
fat
the
land and flat land all in one,
Can't be
or
explained.
plains and plans and inexpensive
basically
management and pain
inexplicable.
by experts who
Only
are
2 or 3
free to
people
settle
get
in the plains and
It's
will
a
settle
phenomenon.
for plain deals
It's
among
sightless,
free wheeling and
senseless,
dealing plain folks with
useless.
plenty of plain old healthy selfishness in a land of plenty under the flat but full moon with plenty of moonshine. Why should it be any different there from here? Where there is either darkness or light, where it's either a light or a dark, why should it be better there? It isn't better anywhere. Only here it's never good. Go someplace else. It's not good here and it will never be good again, that's what I say.
If it weren't differently different here with us, then differently different elsewhere, not any different than if we were different elsewhere, somewhere else, where we would be someone else, huh? Well, why then did this man, a real German, become Hungarian of all things? Go figure. I mean, what figures did he play with to figure out how this will pay off for him? How he can get away with it? One can be Hungarian or Dutch or Belgian or whatever, but better not in Hungary or in the Netherlands or Belgium, at least not when the time isn't ripe yet. Because once the time is ripe, those countries will spit us out. Those countries will no longer like the taste of us, but they'll still have to swallow us. We are hard to take, but easy to get, and we take what we can. This is well documented. I brought all the files.
I can hear the Germans
History
talk
just
loudly
handed me
everywhere.
another
They
pile.
all scream each other.
History doesn't do us much honor.
Then they notice
We do better as Hungarians or Dutch, and that is what we are now. It was later than we thought. Later than we intended it to happen. We're in South Africa now.
That's not talking.
We're in Argentina. It makes no difference.
Germans
Or wherever the German, der Deutsch, gets to. You should be anywhere but where der Deutsch, the German is. And that means every German, for that is he are, or at least have been, even though we're not now, not anymore. And of course,
so simple.
we should not be in Germany either. Not in Germany of all places. First to go, last to get there.
And they do it.
The whispers.
Afterwards, they
Not
come back
the
to
they.
Germany again.
But
No.
Germany just whispers. There are big bangs everywhere. But if 2 Germanys collapse into one another with a soft whisper, a whimper of a million voices, without a bang. It's just this whisper.
Here with everything
And afterwards,
once
no
the
one
Germans
dares
are
even to whisper,
here, then we should
let alone
be
speak
where
out
that
loud.
here is not, but this applies to
that's wrong.
only to times of danger.
The German
That's
Sturmbannspieker, the storming
German
SS Superman of his word, the man, Mann for short, because everything German is manning the storm and never questions itself.
And
ever.
the rest is also
Kindness to other people makes him tremble.
Its
Fear of
ruins
what's
are
happening.
scattered all over the world.
Also
It'll be
makes
a
him
lot
tremble.
of work to clean them all up.
He's learned that much in
Piece
the
of work are
meantime,
hard
in
work
these
in Germany.
mean times,
It comes in
that
many
he is to
small
be
pieces.
feared.
Every piece
All
of
that can happen
every
because of him,
it takes.
and what it takes to make him
They'll come and
happy.
sink from time to
He has
time.
learned
The
his
work
lesson.
gets done anyway.
Therefore, don't worry.
I'm talking nonsense.
Be happy
Thank
in Germany, in
As
peace and
always.
quiet.
For the much
Not in the
appreciated
storm.
applause raised by
All is calm, because even with the German there, he finally got his piece of cake, which he now also eats. But he also gives some peace, so there's no danger at all. Then they all
There he is.
sit on their high horse, and they're easy to find, all the way on top. And from up there, they can see things smaller than how they are seen from down below.
Clad in tiny bits of cloth.
An unpleasant situation for the rest of us, whom they didn't finish.
The last
but
bit
not
of
for them.
mankind's journey.
We are the ones down on the
There's a
ground,
bit of
not they.
humanity is left.
Even if Germany is down on the ground,
couldn't take
it
that
still
away from
stands tall, and that's stupid, of course, because it's an easy target that way. All Germans are a target, and they stay on target.
Word.
Their voice,
The
their
mouth.
mastermind's
Mouth
voice,
for
always
sure.
speaks their mind
Because
before
everything
the
German
German,
is
der
never
Deutsch, who
stolen,
equates his
never
power
questions
with
himself.
violence and
Ever.
stirs in some morality before he
Kindness to
pushes
other
millions
people
into
makes
the
him
oven.
tremble.
Ever starts
Fear of what could
thinking.
happen also makes him tremble. He has learned that much in the meantime, in these mean times, that he is to be feared. All that can happen because of him and what it takes to make him happy, he has learned his lesson. Therefore, don't worry, be happy. In Germany, in peace and quiet, not in the storm, all is calm, because even with the German there, he finally got his piece of cake, which he now also eats. But he also gives some peace, so there's no danger at all.
Okay, halt, halt, halt! Stop! 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 Now that we've finally gained a cognitive distance to these times of extremes, you shouldn't just wager that distance in the casino of thinking. Now that you've finally learned how to think and act for yourself. So hold on to your marbles. Don't lose them now. At least stop betting on just one color and don't bet the whole distance or your view on what was. Better be happy you finally won. Hold on to it now. Your view. What am I talking about? Much as I try, I can't be completely unbiased. It's already hard enough to remember everything I have to report. A totally self-absorbed woman hammered it into me. Yeah, how lucky you find her so unappealing. I didn't remember anything anyway. Anywho, if no one is in charge and it's everyone for himself, we have chaos. And no messenger can be expected to deal with that. My main concern here is not ideology, as you constantly accuse me and the woman, who again prompted me in my lines, but people and how they conduct themselves. Because most people's actions are contradictory, and their views change over the years due to circumstances. Well then, let people change their views. I don't care. But as a reporter, my view has been set, even if somewhat late. Because I can't report something before it happens, right? So then I already calibrated this view for you as it was willed by a woman, which luckily doesn't count, and you can take it, my view, just the way I hand it to you. Fine with me. You can also have my character, because my character is more durable than my opinion. And I can't insert that in my report anyways. It was laid out to me by that lady who knows the lay of this land, or does it lie? Anyway, who plays it as it lays. You keep insinuating that I shoot off my mouth mostly stuff I memorized, as you accuse this lady of shooting off nothing but memorized bullets. And what's the upshot of this? She asked me to return her guns. So what am I supposed to do without those great equalizers which balance my views? Because originally I had to borrow a few and had to give them back before I had a good view of my own origins. The Countess, and a few others, who don't count anymore, gave me these bullets, and who benefits from them now? You do, armed with my bullets, which I had to borrow myself. I never had any protection, not even for my limpest limb. You insinuate I hate Germans? Seriously? Hating Germans? But now I can finally say to you, regardless of what I said before, I am proud to be German. Wir Deutschen unter unsere Duschen. Thank you. We Germans, in our germ-free showers, the real showers, of course, should once again dare to show our national spirit, which would send everyone else to the showers. Although we, Austrians, not really Germans. I'm saying this here and now because this kind of courage will have been lost for a while, and the Opfer, the victims, the dead and their survivors, yes, they too, the victims, I say, well then, die Opfer, the victims, more than anyone else, will work with all sorts of foul tricks to get what they want. Victims always want something. Even if they are no longer and haven't been for a long time, and never want to be victims, the Opfer. However, we know that especially in extreme situations, certain people can play a big role, and each and every one and his role is important, it counts. And here they are, playing Grand Opera, or no, Opfer. They play enormous roles, they play those big parts until they get too big for them, and then they just drop them, until they're sick of their power over others, until they're sick of their shtick, and then they get back to doing what everyone else is doing. And that's what they're doing now, before the future will have begun. The Germans aren't driven by fear of themselves, and that is their greatness. They have an inner compass they always follow. Even at great risk, they always follow their inner compass needle. Who am I to judge them? I can't change the position of the North. They approach the others, the Germans do, but they don't torture them anymore. They learned from history. They were happy to learn because they wanted to be happy. Who doesn't? Everything I will have said about torture will be correct, but no longer topical. Had we known what we know today, we wouldn't have believed it. We had to learn the hard way. We wouldn't believe we would be asked the typical questions of those who came after, but we are preparing for our turn to do something about the arrogance of posterity. We are turning now. This is the Wende, the turning point. Now we are turning to you, and then we will address you, though without any redress. You can't expect redress from us too. Oh yes, we are turning, but without returns for you. You ask for returns as soon as we turn our backs for a moment. I can't believe it. How can you prevent what has already been done? So you want redress from us? You expect us to say, this is how it was, but if what was were to be today, we could say about ourselves that we certainly would have hidden persecuted individuals or other criminals, and that is exactly what we're doing. We definitely would do it. We will have known how parents and grandparents should have acted, and today we are finally able to judge for ourselves, and at long last, as messengers, we no longer have to parrot what we are told to do and say. We don't have to hide anymore. I'm not about to spare you the effort of thinking for yourself. As long as I am a messenger, I don't have to think for myself. Now you are taking care of it. All right, where were we? We are not entitled to take on the roles of judges, neither are you. We always were. Just a minute, let me put away my heavy historical luggage someplace where it's not in the way. Would you have a little room for it? Just a small room would be fine. Thanks. Just a moment. Thanks. Wait, just a moment. Don't push me. Don't pull me. I have to first put away my luggage. Can't you see that? I know you're mesmerized by stories of those horrible times. You're not interested in anything else. I can see that. And by staring at the horrible crimes this country committed, you once again make Germany the navel of the universe. Don't you understand? As a messenger, I don't care. It just makes me more important. But it's not good to make Germany a navel again. You know, you better make it an ass, then you can sit on it. I'm sorry, okay, navel, but navel in a negative sense. That's no good. Ass would be better, and also more practical. When do we messengers have a chance to sit down in peace and quiet? So, I can sympathize with Germany. But navel's not so good. Oh well, why not? Everyone has a navel, and quite a few take themselves for the navel of the universe, with everything circling around them, all waltzing, what nonsense. Why should I care? However, to avoid this kind of fixation on the past, in the future, you might want to go someplace else, if you're still alive. South Africa, perhaps? Argentina, yes, Argentina's best. That's the easiest to get to no matter where you stand on Germany, no matter who stands by Germany at the moment, and then continue your reports. You can always go to Argentina. Once there, wait and see, and report. Yes, I know I should first put my own house in order, but there's always such a mess at the door, all those messages in the mail, mostly advertisements, although it's strictly prohibited delivery of such junk. There are so many shades of gray when it comes to moral issues, as we all know. But in those brochures, everything's colorful, so that one can't even tell the executioner from the victim. But there's no need to tell. It's all just a matter of placement, which can be changed at any time. Just take your ballpoint or felt pen and change it. You don't have to accept my calibration either. It makes no difference at all. Nowadays, everyone knows who the executioners were and who the victim. But those brochures also show the grayish tones in special colors, and those must go right away. They have an appointment at a place for the healthy men, the wholesome men, where they have an appointment they must observe, those grayish tones. They have to go. No, they don't have to observe anything, there's nothing to see, because there's no more difference between true and false, there's only in between. No more grayish tones. No more upper tones. The Reich, the rich are already gone, so are the poor. I forgot what else is gone. And whatever remained must go now too. That's it.
The voice you are hearing now.
Suddenly you are a Hungarian and you don't know why. And you have nothing to do He pulls that light. He's always We'll find them. We'll find them all. They have to show another way. I said that sometimes. I think I might slow up. Then a lot of shadows, and I remember where I am. See what came out.
All these. I'm charged to report the guns that being delivered to chambers. They can be picked up at any time. Chambers are charged. They will discharge. They will overcharge until the gun is glow red hot. I must thus inform you that they were ready to lend their willing hands. And their rosy cheeks, mentioned earlier by charming black people. Did not change colors. You do not see anything. Except on the Countess. Though, Countess only by marriage, which puts an end to being the only one and all alone, and all of this in Hungary, where one wouldn't want to live if it existed. I mean, Hungary exists in multiple shapes and in many places. Yes, also in Austria. But you wouldn't want to be there. Switzerland is better. A Hungarian in Switzerland is best. Though, as I said, we can put on a very small count's crown only. But it was cheap. It was reduced. It was not taken down all the way. It must never be taken down, but it was reduced. It's not the main line, but a sideline, which will be sidelined once we have the right empire. Still, it is big. No idea what sort of tax the people will be burdened with.
No, we rather save shells for guns.
Many years will be the money for their sustainment. Life is very long.
We end up
For the
owning
most
guns.
part, we can't see.
The long guns.
Humility can also be very rare.
Then we let them have it.
They disappear when we return them. Their money disappears before they sought to it. They could show up later when they need it.
Glow from an inner blaze.
Thought at the time, and frozen money.
The
Yes.
high and mighty, life is theirs.
That's all
Right,
we
which is the
need. And
world,
that's
the way,
all we got.
this way to the end, the way the world ends, not with a bang, but with
Positively
a...
identify her among all those
And they
tall
always
armed
know
men
when
in
they have
black.
to make themselves small.
That's no joke.
Without really being
And yourself?
subtle, of course, so they wouldn't
Aren't you?
pretend. And if they disappeared altogether,
Black, as
And if they
everybody
die,
will tell you, makes people look
it's easier.
bigger and more
That's what they
terrifying.
and they
Like
always
clean slates.
only disappear. as
Anything
long
that
as
could
they
be
want.
written on it would seem smaller.
Unlike the
It's
dead.
like
They
the blackboard immediately seems
They
smaller
emerge
in
in the
moments
gap
after it gets
between
scribbled.
idea and reality.
Black,
between
however,
the motion and
is
the act.
indescribable.
Yes, that's exactly
Still,
where they
it
were.
gets
That
described
is where the
constantly.
shadow falls.
It seems to ask for
At least we may see
something
photos.
scratching the surface.
Many of us believe.
All Germans here, everything
For
German,
theirs is
all in elegant black,
Right,
down to
very
boots.
long.
But
for the most part, we can't see it. Humility can also be very wise. They disappear only to return again, the high and mighty. Their
luckily,
money disappears before they
they
do.
are not
They
in
saw
German,
to it that it could show
where the
up
first
later when
slates are
needed.
beginning to break and
Luckily,
being inscribed
Stephen
only in
thought,
part
in
with
time,
shards
their
of clay.
frozen money. For the high and the mighty life is
men,
theirs. Is
whole
their
up
way,
men,
which is
of
the
hollow
will,
men,
the way it ends.
no longer readable.
This way to
No
the
more
end.
time
The way of the,
The
world
new
ends
time
not with a bang.
is coming to an end. Now what? We used up the old one a bit prematurely before we even got the new one as soon as it was announced, but it turned out differently. Only when the Countess picked up the gun did I know for sure it was her.
Why not?
It is her, right?
Sure.
It comes with a title. The weapon comes with her title and goes with her template. And of course she wanted to shoot too. There is a hierarchy in shooting. The highest ranked shoots first at the highest ranked game. Which isn't man, not just any old stag. It is the royal stag. The big buck that must be stopped and shot right here.
And the response.
Men are small fry, and after the first one's taken out, the others can take out the rest of them. There's plenty for everyone. Who's counting?
We step
No,
aside,
Countess.
so the shadow won't fall on us. And suddenly,
Many of us believe
Top Gun
It is they, the mighty.
that heaven.
For theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Life is very long, but for the most part, we can't see it.
Wow.
Humility can also be very wise.
A word.
They disappear only to return again, the high and mighty. Their money disappears before they do. They saw to it that it could show up later when they needed it. Luckily, it can be thawed anytime. Their frozen money. For the high and mighty, life is theirs, is their way, which is the world, the way it ends. The way, this way to the end. The way the world ends, not with a bang, but a you know what.
Luckily, we're not humble, is what the messenger's been charged to pass on to you. I tell how it is. I tell you what I was told, literally. We hate anyone who does not resist. Those are the kind of people we have lined up. And we, the messenger, have this message for you. It is the humble ones, we, the brave, love to order for takeout. We let them eat their hearts out. They are days, already delivered, ready to serve, and they are served right away. They're quickly taken out again. Not just they repulse us, we cannot touch a single fight, because they've not repulsed at all, and rounded them up. And they can then just swallowed everything we threw them, but the spinach, look, that was the slave mentality. It totally crashed my work. My taste just types of victims, it never gets them.
Or they aren't here, they must go.
Once it gets those are already half dead and rotting.
Not much after them anyway. That's right.
That's exactly how we roll.
Stand. Ordered it all.
Hollow men.
No, all there.
Be arranged.
Direct eyes to sheets
And
of
he got
The time is now.
It is not man who sacrifices God.
That's what they were sent to sign
Not even
shut
God
and shoot
sacrifices God.
like us.
And God doesn't sacrifice himself for a father either.
Love, that's also.
No.
Word. Message comes.
No.
That's what I word then.
No.
A messenger of the poet. Better than you. What a mess though. It works a lot with a lot of things as a side dish. Thank you very much. That much perfection is more than enough for me. That much perfection is an absolute must. That much time is an absolute must. We must not take too much time.
I have seen many killings. Not this one. But so many messengers told me about it that I had better believe it. But it is wrong. God does not sacrifice himself. for his father, either. No. God is no victim. He gifts himself to the world. I don't see the difference, but I can understand God. Before I let myself be beaten up and crucified, I'd also be happy to gift myself to the world. Well, I can't second-guess God, let alone outguess him. But before I have myself beaten up, you can have me even for nothing. You could have me as a free gift that comes with God for no extra charge. The Countess also sacrifices herself, but I don't know for whom. I believe she does it for her horses. That's what I was told. She'll soon leave in the car with her 2 mates. No age, no adjutants, no celebrants. No, not that for sure. What would that woman have to celebrate? Almost 200, all done. 180, you say? It happened just once. It happened.
Well, to me, whatever the Countess is doing is not a sacrifice. No, and clearly not for her, as she does it willingly. And what you do willingly is, well, done, not done. No, it's just better than what one does unwillingly. Don't mention it. My pleasure. It was a pleasure. And later it won't be mentioned and it won't be a pleasure. Strange. The hope of the empty men doesn't get them to rise, though they are light and crinkly, like kites.
Oh yes, the Countess! Had nothing to say but plenty to do all the time. Instead, her family talked all the more and all the more loudly. They still had decades ahead of them to be filled with plenty of cheer and checks, but certain no balances after the pits were chock-a-block full. The Countess is talking now. Quiet, everybody. The deader that woman was, don't worry, that was much later, the more her relatives talked. They easily drowned out the Countess. But today, she wants to say something. And she wants to have a say in everything. Though she doesn't have to know about anything about it. And today, also on the day we have been told to tell you about, and then on the day we must under no circumstances tell you about, she is very appealing to Misters P and O. The men in black, stuffed with straw. I distinguish here between the hollow men and the straw men, who cannot be held responsible, since this is what they are, straw men, meaning they are not stuffed with flesh inside their skin, and we don't know their names. Not flesh, but straw, stuffed with straw, the hollow ones with nothing, the others with straw.
The Countess with nothing.
Here she is, that woman. There she stands,
Here she is.
firm and fast.
There she stands.
When it's time to move, the firm, not the mother, the hand. I am not quite sure who she is. In any case, a sister. And
not quite sure
Mother?
who she is.
No, not mother. Yes, mother is also in the paper. Oh, now I see.
Yes.
She's a mother. She also is a mother. And then I also a daughter.
And
Wouldn't work any other way. So here she is, right in his face. And she is looking between the desire and the spasm, between the potency and the distance, between the essence and the sense. And where's the shadow falling? She looks here and there, she looks everywhere. She can't see all the because she has no family tree which she could climb even higher if things got too hot on the ground. But no, she's still
There. Now.
there now. She got one. Now she's on top. All the way on top. She got it. A tree. A prickly pear. Prickly pear. Now she sits on the highest branch. And And if something like that, an architect,
A star.
no, it doesn't.
We don't know.
Is it air? Gold iron? No, gold ore for the iron.
It's another country.
Maybe
No, that was another thing. But so, could it be that our lady, with that heart of gold for art for gold, the lady is a tramp. His heart has been trampled on. No, that's impossible. Oh, it's impossible. Then it's impossible. She probably was just one note. Trumped up, tripped up, torn down dust in the medium jungle. Trump's not very dust. Not even close. On the contrary, it's the lowlands where records seem very, very far. Many want to come, some to lay low here. Many want to be dukes and move here, getting things moving. But only few get elected. I mean, select. To settle here, to set up business here. Who would she be without it? This pretty woman.
Wow.
Well, it's what she would like to be, pretty, and she is. It'll do. It would do for me. That does it. Since we no longer have a foundation for golden arches, there are no more archdukes wrapped in their golden fleeces. And what will keep them warm now?
Animals
Animals
need
need their fleece to stay warm.
Otherwise
they freeze to death or dry up like a cactus in a cactus land.
You couldn't find a
decent fleece today. With the environment poisoned and animals feeding on polluted grass. And if you find a fleece after a long journey, it no longer fits the animal that wore it. Before it was torn off its body, the animal perished. Well, the fleece too. And anyway, once upon a time, they hunted animals only. Once upon a time, a man took another wife. Then he took 2 pieces of children, then 3. Then all of it got taken away again. So he took another wife, and still another. But on principle, everything gets taken away, one way or another. And we are working against that principle. The animal whose fleece was stolen used to jump across creeks and rocks and hollows, inspired by a spirit. No, not a spirit. Whatever. Inspired by something, or maybe just an idea. Yes, just an idea. The idea of German. But it might as well be any other idea. Almost any idea will do. Almost any other idea will fly. It's theirs and it flies. Well, my ideas keep flying away. I can't hold them back. Maybe they aren't even ideas. I'm pretty sure of that. Even if one isn't there, one thinks of Germany. The dead land there, the cactus land, where stone images are raised. That's how strong they are here. Just a moment now. I see this isn't an animal. Let the messenger first take a look what it is before he sets the tone with the fork. Forking out the right notes takes quite a fortune. No, hitting the right note can bring a big fortune. Well, maybe just a small one. Since no one will want to hear the same tune several decades from now.
Those men who decompose the water.
Tell us, will you now? Or shut up for good! What do you think of my gravel pit theory? For which I don't have the faintest lead. But I still can lead anyone on and around all on my own. Though maybe not much longer. They wouldn't have been eaten, would they now? Those 180 men roasted in the fire in the castle? Dig up, cover up, dig up, cover up. Even the corpses are beginning to get bored of it. I could also tell you where it will not be easy to find those bodies, no. Nothing will be easy to find, but I say nothing, otherwise it would be too easy to find, and much too easy a finale. May I also say something, please? She doesn't need it. That
title, she already has one, even if it got a bit small for her. She acquired a reputation. She can still stand on her own, held up by her title, brought down by the communists, no longer brought down by the Austrian lords of hammer and sickle. Her